Welcome. Give you guys a little bit of time to show up and hang out with me here. A little bit late today. Doing a a challenge here with doing like 75 hard kind of. So I'm also drinking like a gallon of water a day. So that means I'm also doing like a test of my plumbing in my apartment. So I'm going to the bathroom every like 4 minutes. No, not really that much, but it's a lot. So that's why we're late today. What's up, Thaddeus? Excited to see you here, man. Today's going to be really fun. We're going to be talking about blogs, stuff I know. And I don't have a migraine today. So I actually, I'm able to like focus and I'm not like looking around trying to, break my neck trying to avoid stuff. If you're here, go ahead and let me know. Say something in the comments. Hello is fine. Whatever else you want to do. Hawaiian works. Hawaiian's great. The shirt. No, I get it. Yeah, Scott. It's a Florida vibe, though. This is a Hawaiian shirt, but for Florida reasons. So anyway, if you're here live, say hello. And if you're not, you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments so that I can see what's going on there. Today, we're going to be talking about strategic blogging versus like the old way of blogging. Yeah, thanks. I don't know who, I can't see the name because I'm using Ecamm, but thank you I'm in one piece. I'm alive and well. Migraine's gone. ADHD's been like pretty good today. We have at least a 4% chance of focusing, which is high. That's a high chance. But anyway, I'm stoked to be here. So anyway, we're talking about the old way versus the new way of blogging, the strategic way, the intentional way. Oh, what's up, Jeff? Because one works and one's kind of just wasting most of your time. It's exciting. All right, so let's talk about what these kind of look like. What's up, Tyler? Thank you for taking the dog out so that we don't see a bunch of random stuff going on in the back end of this little thing I got going on here. Let's see if I can't zoom. Oh, I guess that's all I got. So, the correct way versus the old way of blogging, okay? There's two methodologies. So back in the day, people used to just take every single thing they've ever shot and they used to blog that. And what they did by blogging that was like they added 20 or 30 images to it, maybe more depending on how much they shot. And then they wrote like little they wrote like a little blurb about the couple in there. And that doesn't really solve any problems. Okay, it gets your work out there, but then the more of those you do at the same locations, the more you're competing with yourself. And so it's just not like a strategic or intentional way. It doesn't answer any questions. It just talks about the couple that you've already shot. You could see it as a benefit for the client, but in reality, it's not actually doing anything for you as in getting new clients coming in. Yeah, they might be more likely to share it if they're featured, but they're going to share it if they're featured, whether it's on a blog that goes through every single shot you've taken at a location, or one that answers all the questions about that location and sprinkles in images that you've actually shot where you're at. Let's talk about the old way of blogging versus the new way of blogging. Okay, so back to what I was saying. You used to take every image you shot for an engagement session, post it up into that blog, and then explain kind of the client's information. Like, their story of how they met and all that. And that was nice. That's a nice way to talk to your clients and have them kind of be featured in a blog. However, it doesn't really serve you. It doesn't actually, build where you're going, right? The strategic way of doing it would be, strategic correct, I'm going to probably use those interchangeably, but would be to write a piece of content about that location you're shooting at, and then include the couples that you've shot there, like the best images of the best images, so you're always putting your best work forward. But let's kind of take a look at this, because there's many different positives and benefits here. Okay, so the new way is to solve problems for clients. It's going to increase your traffic to the website because nothing's competing with each other. It's got a defined intent. People are looking for places to have engagement sessions, or they're looking for venues to work at, or they're looking for information to their answers. It's defined. It's going to put out those answers. It's important. It doesn't create busy work, okay? When you're writing an article, you don't have to do 50 or 60 of the exact same articles afterwards, unless, of course, you're writing like a venue article and you want to do every venue that's ever existed in your state, in which case you'd probably be doing like 300 plus venue articles, which kind of over time feel very similar if you've got a structure going on, okay? Examples of this would be like best engagements at certain location, where to propose, how to elope in Mexico. Okay, you're gonna solve problems and answer questions that people already have, and then bring your content in to kind of sell you as you're going. Okay, the old way, on the other hand, it's to showcase every shoot you do. It doesn't have a defined purpose. It creates tons of busy work because you're doing this for every single session. It would get really tiring and really boring. And then they would compete with each other. So there's this thing called keyword cannibalization, which basically is like if you were shooting at, let's say, an event or a location that was like the bridge at a place with a bridge, okay? That's the name of the venue. It's the bridge at a place with a bridge. And you shot a bunch of different engagement sessions and you posted every single one of those engagement sessions. Eventually, you'd be confusing Google. It would be not sure which one of those are the best versions of the answer, like which one's actually answering the questions. Okay? Examples of this would be engagement at X multiple times. So like we just said, every wedding you've ever shot, and then it would be the exact same name. The name of the venue would be included. Your brand name would be included. Maybe your term, your main key term, for me it'd be Orlando wedding photographer. Maybe that's included every time. That doesn't need to be included every time. That should be your homepage's focus, not the blog you're writing's focus. It's not going to solve a lot of their problems because they're going to go to those. If you have something ranking, they're going to go to one of those articles and they're just going to learn about the couple that you shot there. They're not going to learn why it's a great place to shoot or what the best time to shoot at that place is or outfits that work in that place. It's different. Okay. Moving on. The strategic blog process looks like this. You're going to think through your client problems, okay? Why are they looking for what you're trying to rank for? Are they looking to find places to have an engagement session at? Are they looking for benefits of those types of things? It's important. You're going to write those problems out and then you're going to write solutions to them, okay? You're going to do related keyword research, okay? So that means you're going to type in the name of the location and then maybe you include the term engagement and see what other terms might come up for that. Which ones are going to be related and actually give you more search volume. I'll show you guys one of my examples after we kind of go through some of this stuff. You're going to collect related terms and use them to structure the content. You're going to write out the content in a way that answers each question, and you're going to fill the rest of the article with images and calls to action to turn visitors to your website into leads. If they like what they see, then they're going to start wanting to reach out to you. That's the intent. We're creating an intentional process. They may have done it the old way, but you weren't probably including calls to actions. You weren't ranking on a lot of those because they were fighting against each other. Okay? Strategic blogs must-haves. All right, so they have to have CTAs. Not just one. Don't just tell them to talk to you once. That doesn't really work. You got to repeat it. Now, that doesn't mean every single sentence go, hey, by the way, contact me. Hey, by the way, contact me. No, that means like every section have some sort of CTA that would cause someone to go, hey, you know what? I am looking for this. Let me go ahead and contact this photographer. Now, don't do it like in their face. Just put a CTA somewhere. They're going to notice it, but don't like make it like really, really annoying on the page. Don't make it like a pop-up ad. Okay? It's got to have resource links. Where did you get the information from? If it's a venue, you want to link back to that venue. Okay? That's the main source of information. That's the main thing that Google's looking to be connected with this. You want to have topic relevant images. So like if you're writing about engagement sessions, don't just add a random image of a duck. Okay? That doesn't help anyone. There's no point in that. You want to have multiple relevant terms, so wedding venues, and then types of wedding venues, and then related questions to the wedding venues, like how do you pick a wedding venue? What are you looking for? What are some good things to kind of look out for? That's what we're looking for, right? Local vendor blogs. So this is one type. It's one that I write a lot on. You're going to write like best wedding venues in your city or state. Okay, depending on the search volume or what you're trying to rank for. Sometimes the state has much higher search volume, but it's slightly more difficult, meaning you have to be more thorough. Sometimes you can just get away with doing it in your city. Top 10, top 9, whatever. It's totally fine. Top planners in your city. You're going to talk to 3 people you actually recommend. You're going to write down why you recommend those people. You're going to write down what they do differently. You're going to make sure you interview them, okay? You want to interview with a florist about what's in style for 2022. Tyler... Sorry, that's a comment we'll be talking about later. Anyway, interviews with a florist about what is in style for 2022. What kind of flowers are blooming right now? What are ones that are really hard to get to? What are ones that are going to help them stand out but maybe not break the budget? Best dress shops in your city, okay? Like where should they go get dresses from? You can find this stuff online. If you're not, if you've never wore a dress before and you have no idea which one to go for, you can typically ask a bride what they looked for, find out what the answers to those questions would be, and then include dress shops that solve those problems, okay? a list of recommended DJs and why you recommend them. All right. So talk to some DJs. If you have some DJs, that just get the party going. They know how to mix things. They take into account your client's stuff. Recommend them. Talk about them. Link back to them. Give them a backlink. Maybe they'll give you a backlink as one of the best photographers in the city. Collaborate with people. That's how you grow. Growth is through collaboration. All right. This is one of my favorite wedding venues, who I'm going to go hang out with the planner of on Monday, I think. We're going to go tour it real quick and talk about some different things they have going on with weddings. This is one of Disney's properties, so I'm learning a bit. This all happens because I started writing content that was related to the area I'm at. By the way, I've only been in this area for a small amount of time. I think March is when I moved officially into the area, and then really I've been just connecting with vendors as time goes on. I've gotten on a few lists already without even shooting weddings at these places, because I'm writing intentional content that gets people coming to the website, that also informs them and kind of advertises for them as they go. Then you have stage of planning blogs, okay? Stage of planning blogs solve problems for clients at various stages in planning. They can be locally focused, but they might be broader. They're usually more like how-to content, how to pick your wedding venue, how to pick a florist, what you should look for in a DJ, what 10 questions you should ask your photographer. It should be focused on problems at a specific stage, okay? Early planning, which is where they're trying to pick a venue typically. Mid planning, which is where they're trying to figure out how to do their engagement sessions. Late planning, which is like getting ready almost up to the day. How do they get better photos, better light, whatever. And then day of. So just stuff that they can kind of plan ahead for the day of. Okay, like this could be like tips like make sure you actually eat your food so that you're not like starving and don't pass out on the dance floor. This could be like whatever tips you think are recommended for the people you're trying to work with. Now, if you're not doing weddings, you can do the same thing. You can help them plan for their shoots. You can be a resource. This is part of being an expert. It may or may not include local vendors. It doesn't have to, but it could. It could include local vendors at any stage of this. Okay, there's going to be some overlap with these types of blogs. Content just should overlap naturally. Okay, here's some examples: how to propose and where. It's one I'm writing right now for Orlando. It's actually got kind of a crazy amount of search volume based on the research I've done. Local engagement shoot locations, how to choose a wedding venue, what to wear to an engagement session by season. So I want to separate that out. If you're like in Florida, we like to tell people just in summers, you only wear winter coats. That's the best way to get photos of you going to the hospital for heat exhaustion. That's our number one recommendation. Wedding traditions you can skip. So this is really cool because this actually solves a problem for you as a photographer. If you're linking this as a resource to your clients, you can get rid of shooting things that you really don't enjoy shooting. I, for one, hate the dollar dance. I think it's tacky. I also think it's a little creepy. So I tell people that I'm like, hey, listen, you're kind of being treated like strippers and you want me to take pictures of it. I don't really want to do that. Here's why I think it's not a great thing to have. Maybe you don't like the bouquet toss. Maybe that's something you can say. You could skip this. And you're not saying you have to, but you're saying like you can, which means you're likely to shoot less of them. Okay. Then you have my favorite type. So my preferred type is what we would call like a manifest blog or a manifest destiny blog, because it's manifesting the clients that you really, really want to work with. Okay. The ones you've been dreaming of working with. We also refer to them as super blogs because they're huge. Okay. So we want to shoot in a place like this. We would write a super blog for it. Super blogs are a post that details something you have done or want to do more of. If you want to do destination weddings, you can write about doing destination weddings in certain locations. You can make a guide. Tyler's working on one right now for one of our clients, and it's pretty detailed. She has a potential, I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure, but if she ranked for every key term that we found, she'd have a potential search volume of like 13,000 views per month. It's a big opportunity. Okay, it's answering several questions that are related to the wedding planning process for that particular location. They're going to contain several high volume and low volume keywords. Okay, so not just ones that are like 500 plus searches per month. You're also going to include some things that are just like 20 or 30 searches a month, but have absolutely no competition. It's not a very competitive key term. Okay, it's going to be longer written. It's going to be like 2,000 plus words typically. Okay, you might be able to ease out, and maybe every term that you're using is like kind of this, there's no competition for it, which is fine. Helicopter elopements would comes to mind in this case. It may not have to be that detailed in that case. because you're not really competing with anyone else. You just need to make sure it's structured and answers the questions at least thoroughly enough for people to want to read it. It could be a combination of very easy to rank terms and very hard to rank for terms, okay? So my Orlando wedding blog, I intentionally picked some venues that I really liked and some venues that I'm totally cool with working at that kind of had easier to rank for terms than like the Disney one specifically. Okay, it's going to answer many questions. Okay, it's not just going to be like, here's the top wedding venues in the city. It's also going to be what those wedding venues are costing, what they cost, kind of like the amount of guests you get in, or in the other case, we're talking about doing like a destination thing. It's going to include how to get to the airport, which airport to fly in is easier. It's going to include which beaches, local venues that you could use, maybe even some local vendors that you want to put in there. It's going to answer a lot of those questions so that when they go to that, it's the resource. It is the place. You are the expert. Therefore, they're going to want to hire you because you're showing your expertise and sprinkling in some content that shows off your skill as a photographer. It's really important that you're showing off some form of your skill as a photographer. Even if it's not related, but it's really close. Like I've used images of people on the beach to talk about different places around the world that I want to go work at. It happens. Okay, then when I go shoot those things, I pull the images that I originally had on it and bring in the new ones from those locations after I've shot them. Okay, Superblog examples are like all things Star Wars weddings, a guide to planning a destination elopement in Croatia, how to choose a wedding venue, what to wear to an engagement session by season. That can be a lot longer depending on where you're at. Wedding traditions, you can skip. Those might be just brought in from other ones, and I changed them out as I'm realizing that. But they can be way more intense. So instead of doing a top 10 in this case for different locations or whatever, you'd end up doing like a top 30 and being really detailed. They're very detailed things you're writing out. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys kind of what I'm working on with one of mine right now. But as we're kind of going through this, if you guys have questions about this, let me know. If you guys are like, this sounds like a shitload of work, also let me know because I have a fix for that. We do write content for photographers. We do teach you how to write this stuff. We do also kind of go through and check your blogs you currently have up and see if you're not missing an opportunity somewhere. It's totally all things we can do for you. So let me just kind of pull this up real quick one more time. We are going to go to Google Chrome. Perfect. And then I need to go to Google Chrome. Awesome. I don't know why I'm Google searching blog. This is an example from someone who we didn't even write for, but it's almost the same structure that we use for our wedding venue blogs. Okay, it's got a paragraph kind of explaining everything else. It's got recommended locations, an expert tip. So like this is like your expertise piece included in it. It's all a very similar structure. Okay. What I'm working on right now, though, is I'm working on a blog for Orlando proposal ideas. So I've went through and I've done a lot of keyword research here. I've written a title that I think is going to work really well. Written out different ideas. So Orlando proposal ideas was one of the terms. I've connected it to local resources. So this is a local hangar you can rent out for photo shoots. This is an aquarium you can go do for a proposal. This is Disney does like these little firework cruises on boats that they have there. It's all linking back to that stuff. Then just some ideas that I think would be really cool. Like these are all unique things that I thought of for my clients. This is how I would solve this problem. Then I've got locations where they can propose. I'm going to be adding in some sentences underneath here. This is like I'm in the middle of writing this article, but I'm kind of explaining like some things that are in the area that might work really well for a proposal. Again, I'm trying to set myself apart. I am the expert in this case. I am someone you should talk to. I can solve this problem for you. It's really important. At the end of this, I'll put in some CTAs and sprinkle them throughout. I'm going to write them out. And that way I'm getting leads from this. Trust me, if you don't think you can get leads from like a proposal blog, I'm going to tell you something. Guys specifically who are trying to propose love it when people can answer all their problems. I used to get so many. I had one of these originally for Chicago. I used to get so many inquiries from this, and it would be like the funniest messages I got. Several times I remember the day they wanted to propose, where they wanted to propose, and then the message just said, help. It's fun. I used to get a ton of inquiries there. And then I got to shoot them longer. So like if I shot the proposal, I almost always shot the wedding. But I also had more story to tell, which means my album sales went up from there. Okay? It's a lot of different things I can kind of bring in. A lot of different ideas that I can use. To give you guys an idea of how I did the research in here, I created a list inside of SEMrush. And then I just started building out things that I could fit into here when I'm writing it out. Okay? Look at the potential volume here. 15,000. most of these terms are fairly small terms that just I can still make little sections out of, or at least mention in a sentence. And you notice like a lot of these here, like very easy. There's not much competition going on here. There's still a decent amount of volume for each of these. You add them all up and that's how you get that number. But these are like very low competition terms that I could rank for fairly easy as long as I write something competent. Okay, this one right here, NA, means that there's really nothing I'm not really competing with anyone at all. Then you have your harder terms here, like the Disney Boardwalk Resort. That's going to be one that's one of the ones that you guys noticed I recommended as a place to propose. It's a difficult, okay? It's a larger term, but if I do rank for it, 6.6K in volume. That's a lot of people, okay? It's a ton of people come to the website. It's a ton of brand exposure. It's a ton of different things that I want to see happen for my brand. There's other terms in here, I mean, as we keep going on, but you kind of get the idea. Engagement ideas is a 9. It's got a difficulty of 170. So like there's a lot of terms that I can fit in here to get in front of a client before they're even engaged yet. So this is like a session I'm getting paid for before the wedding even happens. Then the wedding happens, they see the results, they already know what the product is. They're already sold on the rest of it. They're already sold. I'm going to be going further and further with these things. Same thing with the people who are looking for like the elopements or whatever in different countries. When I'm the resource for them, when I'm the person that can answer the questions that they have, when I'm the person that's like literally writing up all the content that goes down to even the nitty gritty of like airport information and like how to stay safe in certain locations, when I'm the person that can provide those answers, I'm the one they want to go with them on the trip for their wedding. They want me to be the photographer because I already know everything that they need to know. I already know places they can go. I have backup locations. I know some vendors. Maybe I've done some vendor research. I've become an asset to the people that I'm trying to market to. I've basically decided, hey, I want to do this, so let me do as much research as I can, provide answers, and then the opportunity comes from that hard work. Is anyone getting value from this? Like, are we seeing, like, we learning some stuff? Hopefully we're learning some stuff. The sky's the limit. I mean, you can do anything from like Star Wars wedding information. You can do, if you want to do like me personally, I'm a really big fan of certain like time periods. So I might want to do like a vintage session of some sort. I might want to do something that's got like a 70s vibe to it. It might have something that I don't know. It could be just different locations I want to go to, and I just want to explain how to do them. I might even write something about the coolest places to get photographs done in Florida, and then literally take my clients to those places. Travel is going to be included. They're going to be paying more than just a session fee. They're going to be paying travel on top of that. All I got to do is get them to come to the site, get to see my brand first, and then contact me. That can be done through just really well-written copy, really well-answered questions, really intentional steps. A lot of planning. It takes planning. This isn't easy. It's not easy to write all this stuff out, but it's not impossible. And that's kind of what I want you guys to understand. It's like it's possible to shoot the dream things you want to shoot if you create the content that you are dreaming to shoot. You have to start creating content that leads people to want to hire you for those pieces. I don't know that there's another method out there that actually allows you this option. I don't know that there's something you could do on Instagram to get more destination wedding leads from there, besides actually already showing destination weddings that you've already done. I don't know that those opportunities exist there. I don't know if there's an easier method of doing it. I don't think there is. I think there's one where you're just getting a client that's already like think about this method. They're already looking to book at a certain location. They're already looking to get married at a location. So now you're the first person solving their problems. You're getting in front of that client right away. Instagram is kind of like, we're going to put an image out and it's going to go to everybody and everyone's going to see it. And maybe like 1 or 2% of those people might maybe want to talk to me. Facebook's the same way, okay? Facebook's going to be hard. You're going to have to pay in order for people to see you most of the time in Facebook. If you're not running an ad, most of the time it's not going to get seen unless you're running it in a group. So that is maybe one other method. You could create a Facebook group that speaks to people planning destination weddings and elopements. You could do that. That would get you some content. You'd have to do lives like I'm doing right now. But that's okay. You can then take those and put them on YouTube. You can get in front of those clients using the exact same keyword methods we used for the blog in the first place. It's a combination of things. You can also take the content you create for the cities that you're in, the pictures or whatever, and the links, and send them to those local vendors and get on their preferred vendors list and get even more leads that are already wanting to book with you. It's a system. It's a compounded system of creating content that matters to people you want to talk to, and then using that content to enrich the community you're in. It's important stuff, guys. You can't skip this stuff. It's really silly to skip this stuff. And if you're like, I don't want to write any of this stuff, cool. You know what? I happen to know a group that has writers inside of it for you guys to write blogs. It's us. I happen to know a group that'll look through your content and see if there's an opportunity you're missing. I know that we'll teach you. We have a blogging course that's coming up. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be way more than blogging because that's just the type of person I am. It's going to be about booking and everything else inside of it. That course is going to include the information to learn how to do what I just did. The keyword research, the list creation, the content stuff. You'll be able to have content written out for like months where you just have to go to a little spreadsheet you've created. Like, okay, well, today I feel like writing about this. Cool, easy win, write about it. Or you can send that contact sheet to somebody who's going to write the content for you, us, and get it written for you. And then while that's being written and Google's trying to rank it, you can work on all the other stuff you actually like doing. You can go shoot more sessions. You can go to local vendor meetups. You can connect with the vendors in your area. There's so many things you can do to get this done. It's not impossible. It just isn't. Hopefully you guys got some information from this you needed to have. If there's any questions, go ahead and drop in the comments. If you want us to talk to you about writing some content for you or creating some stuff for you, go ahead and tag me or Tyler in the comments, or just write interested, and we'll be there for you. We're happy to help. Happy to talk to you. We can even just do like a little consultation. I typically will book a consultation first to make sure we're a good fit for you, and then learn about what your business's problems are. And then I pretty much give you a bunch of free information. It's like having this live, except for you get to actually directly talk to me and get your questions answered. It's a good time. You can see some wins that are being posted in the group. Nelia just posted. We wrote a large blog. We wrote a bunch of content for her. She just got on a preferred vendor list, and they want her to do a styled shoot at the venue because of her blog content that we wrote for her. We helped her optimize it. This is good stuff. Promise. I wouldn't be recommending if it wasn't. There's other ways I can make money if I wanted to do that. Okay, I'm only recommending you guys stuff that I think actually will build your business. It's kind of I have a thing in my booking guide. I have a thing in the stuff that I create that says it's more important to click the shutter or to click with people than to click the shutter. Okay, it's more important to connect with people and make sure you're making good recommendations than it is to make money. That's how I run all these things. Everything I run is run off that entire process. If I don't think I can be of value to you, I will tell you I'm not going to be a good value to you, and we're not going to do business because there's someone else I will be one. That's how you guys should be running your photography business as well. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I hope this was way better than yesterday's. I know yesterday's was off. It is very hard to do these with like a migraine. I don't have one today, so this is why this stuff works. Thanks for hanging. Welcome. Give you guys a little bit of time to show up and hang. Why the fuck does that have anything going on? I didn't press the button. That's the thing that bothered me. I didn't press any buttons for that. And it shouldn't even be in the mix. Thankfully, I recorded it on